Yeah, man. Hold on for a minute. Let me get right for a minute, man. Checking my Facebook
Purchase
page
your tracks today.
and my Instagram page and my Snapchat page. We'll get it back.
See you flossing on Instagram, stay posted on Facebook.
It's the I See What You're Doing podcast. I'm Mr. I See What You're Doing, and as always, I see what you're doing. And as always, history repeats itself. So we're doing this again at 5 o'clock, but that's not the big issue, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Check out the flyer. Remember the sponsor. We got a new video coming up at the halfway mark for a Bluetooth. All I can tell you right now is that confidence never goes out of style. It's the truth. Confidence never goes out of style. But so before I get to the segment, I wanted to kind of go back over a couple of things that we touched on from the top of the year. One of them being our president and the tear. So we could probably say that we at the halfway mark of a presidency that has been scrutinized under a microscope way more than the first one. But it's because of the activity and the issues that are attached to this particular presidency. I think that I heard someone say that we would be farther along if Trump had won, had his presidencies back to back. So meaning that Joe Biden had not caused a separation in an 8-year term that the president is going to have. I totally disagree. I think that the country would be in way more turmoil. And if you don't agree with that it's in turmoil, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So some people are going to say that this country is in way worse shape. And if you consider the national deficit and all of the things that are happening right now, that could possibly be true. But if you are on the side of those who say the country is better, I would not challenge you to explain why. I would just say that maybe you're not looking at it through the right set of binoculars or from the right vantage point. And maybe you are, because that's what you wanted. Kind of like a concept of blind leading the blind, but that's not why I came here today. I didn't come here to get into that. What I came here to do was give you guys a vantage point or an opinion from my viewpoint. Again, when we consider the direction of our country and the state that our country could possibly have been in, had we had Kamala Harris as our president, that would not necessarily make a, hey, Kevin, how you doing? Watching from New York. Kevin said he's watching from NYC. That would not make a difference because we have to focus on this right here. And speaking of halfway point, at the halfway point of our show, again, we're going to give you the new Bluetooth advertisement. But for people to tend to think that one moment. So when people think that, and just forgive me for it, but when people think about our country at the halfway point, we have wars. And I'm going over the things and then I'm going to get into it. We have wars that were promised that we were going to be able to stop on day one, right? I know that you guys don't remember because it's not in the news as much as it's supposed to have been, right? But we can remember that there was a war between Russia and Ukraine that kind of just fizzled out and went away. You stay with me because it fills it out in one way. You feel me? There's a set of files that we never ever had a chance to see. Some people can see them, but other people can't see them. So then you retract those files because the information in them has the ability to incriminate and cause a lot of people a lot of frustration and a lot of stress, right? And it could destroy families and foundations, right? So those type of things get pushed to the side. And then we questioned on the show, we questioned the practices of stock markets and stock market insider trading from Congress and senators. And we also tracked down the former politicians and congressmen and senators that move into these companies that manufacture products of war, weapons of war, and those type of things, right? All of which we know that leads to one thing, and we're going to get to that as well. And then we have a president who said he would like to run for a third term. And then as he runs for a third term, we know that the Constitution says that you can't run for a third term. That's what our Constitution says. You only get 2 terms, but for some reason he believes that he should be able to run for a third term, and also believes that and Americans, I won't say just Republicans, because the lines are distorted right now in this country, whether you believe it or not, about Democrats and Republicans. But you have a president who believes that he should be able to run for a third term, and also believes that he should have his name on buildings or monuments created for him, and also have his name attached to buildings that already have presidential, the names of former presidents on those particular buildings, right? Airports and things of that nature, if you're not up to par. And then we have the enlistment. I think Kevin said, I think he is a good president, especially when you see the options. Okay, I'll pause right here and go into this. Thanks for your comment, Kevin. Options kind of sound like opinions, right? And I'll say that if we truly knew what the motives were, right? Because I mean, again, like I said, there are a lot of promises made at the beginning that we have not seen come to fruition per se. There's a lot of people in this particular country that are struggling and hurt. A lot of farmers lost their farms and things like that. There were a lot of changes made under this administration that are harming American people in contrast to helping American people. Would that be something that could be agreed upon, Kevin, or is that not what's happening right now? Or is the percentage of people that are being affected so minute in some people's eyes that it doesn't matter? You feel me? Because I've had a conversation with her one time with another person that checks in with me. Shout out to Joe S, who comes in and the vantage point is that and I don't want to misconstrue his words, so I'll just say that for those who have it, the people who have not, there's no concern for that portion of the country. Kevin said, I think he is helping more than he is hurting. He definitely doesn't care about foreigners at all. It's Americans or bust for him. Okay, we can go into that. I guess we're going to do it this way. I'll go that. Kevin, foreigners. Would you say that the South Africans that he brought into this particular country were foreigners, because yes, sir, Joe S. just popped in. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man? We having I would say impromptu debate, so I'm glad you came in. But South Africans coming from South Africa into this particular country, would those be considered foreigners, or would it still be Americans or bust? And if that's the case, then birthright citizenship in this particular country makes those people Americans, or is changing, or is attacking birthright citizenship Americans or bust? Because I believe that if you were born in this country, that makes you an American, right? That doesn't give you dual citizenship. It makes you an American, right? Or is that not the consensus that we can all agree upon, that if you were born in this particular country, that makes you an American citizen, right? But I'll proceed on with the idea, because we 11 minutes in. Kevin said he definitely uses a lot of foreigners for what he needs them for. I'm not saying he is right, but he is a very good option compared to the last three, and the next one is trying. That's a beautiful one. So, last three options. Are we talking about the last three options of people that ran for president or that were president, Kevin? If we can pause right there. And I like this because I had a whole bunch of things to say, but this could possibly be an opportunity for me to kind of answer some of the questions and give people the insight into the way I think. So if we go and think about, this particular country, the last three options at president would have been Donald Trump, the last three presidents in this country were Donald Trump. Joe S. said I would have to say Kevin is right. Our candidates running are not very strong compared to Trump, and I am not a Trump supporter. Kind of scary times. Damn, you know what? Joe, that's a curveball for me, because I always kind of figured that you were a Trump supporter. Look at me being transparent. I was sure that you were the Trump supporter. But so the options that we have, are you talking about candidates as far as people that were running for president, or are we referring to the last three presidents? Because if we go into that, then Donald Trump is in the collection of last three presidents. Yeah, Joe, I apologize to you, man. I apologize to you. I'm able to admit when I'm wrong, bro. So the last options are we talking about candidates, and then if we do that, can we go a little bit further and say, are we specifically talking about Republican candidates? Are we talking about Democratic candidates? Are we talking about candidates as a whole? You get what I'm saying? Because I don't want to speak on that. And while we're doing that, let's go over and get a list of the last candidates for president, if you would. While we're doing that, and is that also are we talking about all candidates, Kevin, or are we talking about a specific party of candidates? Biden, Obama, and Bush were the last three pertaining to my statement. All terrible. Oh, Bush was okay. Bush was you talking about presidential candidate? See, there we go. There we go. So, frankly, I don't believe that. I guess I'll say it like this here. President Bush was a Republican candidate. And shit, I almost would have to agree with you on Bush. I almost have to agree with you on Bush. But then I will have to say this here: Are we being non-biased in this situation when we talk about party? And I'm not questioning what you're saying right now, Kevin. I just wanted to know we're not talking about we're not talking about we're not specifying a particular party. We talking about the last 3 sitting presidents. Is that correct? Because you have to also remember, in between that time, Donald Trump was in that thing. And if you thought about that, Mitt Romney was included in the candidates that ran along with those guys to get the nomination for president. John McCain was in that. Sarah Palin fell in there somewhat too, as well as Hillary Clinton was in that in those particular lists. So, is it safe to say that if those are the terrible options, which one of the options, minus those particular people that were sitting presidents, were a better option? And then are we back to voting for the lesser of 2 evils? Because I mean, I don't necessarily think that right now, the way that food prices are and gas prices and all of those things are, that we sitting in a pretty good place right now as far as presidential candidates. And we can see the stuff that gets said on the news about how our president really feels about America first, because there was a statement that said, I'm not concerned about well, I'm going to ad lib this one. I'm not concerned about the issues that American people are having. I'm concerned about the war in Iran. Is that, I mean, I ad libbed it, but the statements were centered somewhere around that. Is that correct? Right. And that's not, and we're not talking about, I'm not concerned about Republicans. I'm not concerned about Democrats. We're talking about a president who stated he's not concerned about the issues that Americans are having. He's concerned about a war. 21 Republican candidates and 24 Democrat presidents, all trash next to Trump, unless Trump gets his son in office. That's what Kevin said. 21 Republican candidates and 24 Democratic presidents. Okay, so I didn't want to, but I'm going to do it anyway. And my outline is out of the way right now. What is it about Donald Trump that makes him such a great president when all of our deficit, the national debt and everything is going up? Here's a question for you. And I wanted it because I guess we just doing presidents and comparing presidents right now. Kevin, if you answer this question, then I have a question to go behind it because I'm dealing with Kevin right now. But was Bill Clinton a bad president? Because you mentioned the last 3, but prior to that, Bill Clinton had to be before Bush, if I'm not mistaken. And Bill Clinton had the deficit down. Jobs were, our country flourished in that particular. I think his transparency makes him different. Kevin said, I think his transparency makes him different, whether we like what he does or not. He does what he says we're going to do, and country respect us now because he will blow them up. You know what shit? Hey man, listen. I gotta give you credit for that. This Kevin is absolutely right when he said that. Donald Trump does say what he's going to do, and he does enact what he's going to do, and I can respect that. Is it always the right decision? Right. Joe S. said kind of a radical statement, but very true, and I agree with you on that. But is all of the decisions the right decisions? Just because he says he's going to do it, all those well thought out decisions for the betterment of the American people, or is it just for one, not one race? Not for one race, but is it just for one class? Amanda said he pretty man. Who is Amanda? Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Donald Trump? I've never really looked at him in that light, but so what I'm trying to figure out is Joe S. and is not a Trump supporter, and Kevin, I can't say whether you are or not. It doesn't add any value or take any value from our conversation, but do you agree totally with all of Donald Trump's decisions? Like all of the decisions that he's made concerning this country, would you consider for a moment if all of them were correct? If everything that he made, every decision that he made was the accurate and correct decision in those particular times, because you have a Congress and the Senate that has totally taken the back seat. You feel me? And in any other presidents, they played a major part in it. He said it. Kevin said, not a supporter, but I definitely benefit from his decisions in America. Okay. Listen to it. Hey, I'm not going to ask you anything past that, but you have benefited from his decisions, right? And I agree with that. But would you consider for a moment, if it's Americans first, that all Americans should benefit from those decisions and not just certain Americans? Would you think that we have a president in Barack Obama who put in place a healthcare plan that was supposed to or that helped all Americans instead of one class? Would you consider Joe Biden making the best attempt at what he could to try to right the ship in this country and put some things in place to benefit all Americans? And with that being said, would you consider that our president that ran right now has a America first mentality, and then has not figured out a way to make things good for all Americans? Would that be a consideration that you would have, Kevin? Because I mean, we can see that people are struggling. The housing market is crazy. The changes that are coming in this country, man, it doesn't look like it's beneficial for everyone. It just doesn't look like it's beneficial for everyone. And while we're doing that, Kevin, because you showed up on the show, I want to have a debate. I want to have the dialogue that you're having. But let's just go into some of the stuff that we are looking at. Because at the halfway point, remember, we're going to give you the brand new Blue Chew commercial. Kevin said, probably not a popular decision in today's world, but I believe there are way too many foreigners in our country that are illegal here and committing a lot of crimes. and that they cannot be punished for. And I hate that as an American. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. If we took away all of the foreigners, right? If we took away all the foreigners and we entered into a space where it was just Americans, right? Are they going to be people that were born in this country? Are there dual citizenship and all that? And if we're talking about crime in this particular country, we can't isolate crime done by foreigners and separate that from crime done by Americans. You feel me? Because I mean, there is crime done here by Americans, right? Some atrocious crimes, to be exact. You feel me? And we won't point out the avenues or the type of crimes that are being committed. I mean, sometimes it really feels like it's a snow job to point in one direction and get you to looking in this direction while some shit is being done over here or some shit is being hit over here. Kevin said, focus on one thing at a time. If I, as an American, kill someone, I do time. An illegal alien gets shipped back to his country. Not cool. Listen, I've experienced that type of thing, right? And I'm focusing on the whole thing. But I mean, that would say this right here, Kevin, while we focusing on one thing at a time, right? If you have border patrol and you let that many people get in this particular country illegally, regardless of what avenue they come in, then that speaks to national security. Would that be correct? I mean, shit, you got border patrol, you got borders, you got nobody can figure out all of the avenues of how all of these people are getting in here. We have the greatest intelligence agencies in the world, and nobody can figure out how these people are getting in to commit these crimes. Whether it's underground, whether it's through air, whether it's the Greyhound, whether it's the train, bus, whether they walk 1,000 miles from one country to another. They getting in, and there's not ability to stop. They jump on the fucking gate or wall or whatever to get in this country. And I'll wait for you, Kevin, to answer that question. But I mean, shit, that if you leave a door open and I get in, Kevin said, I feel like you are putting this back on Americans. If you came into the country illegally, you need to be gone. And Americans need to face all American laws. I'm not putting it back on Americans. What I'm saying is, I guess I actually like this, okay? Because I mean, shit, let's just keep it a buck. I'm an American, right? I'm an American. And I'm speaking from an American standpoint. But what I want to do is point out some of the things that people don't really are really not looking at, right? We can place the blame and we can point all of the blame at illegal immigrants and all of that, right? But how do they get in this country? And remember, if you point one finger at someone, you got three pointed back at you. So I'm not putting it back on Americans. We all have fault somewhere in this thing, right? We all have fault somewhere in this thing, right? And some of the greatest minds in this country have been in the Congress and the Senate, and they have put together these great agencies, you feel me, in this country. Yeah, we talk about illegal immigrants and everything, and we can put them back out, but we can't stop them from coming in. We can't stop them from coming in. And that's the interesting thing, because now we are at it. We hear now. We all of them, if they come in illegally and don't do the process, I would agree with you on. You should send them back to the country they came from until they're able to come in this country legally, right? But there should also be the ability to stop them from coming in. Would that not be okay? Kevin said, blaming our agencies not performing up to par is ridiculous. We have too many rules on how we can keep them out. I don't care where you are from, but if you are here and you need to face the laws. Okay, listen, man, again. I think I might have got up under your skin for a minute. Let's take a pause. Everybody breathe. We gonna pay the sponsors, man. Blue Chew Gold. Because confidence never runs out of style. Let's go to that.
Between.
Started off normal, then everything went sideways.
I fell behind the headboard early on, but Jimmy got right into the thick of it.
They use me for leverage.
Turns out, it's not the thread count, it's how you use it.
I'm used to being fluffed, but this...
I'd be mad if I wasn't so impressed.
Oh, snap, yeah. Blue Chew Gold. Because confidence never goes out of style. Make sure you go to the site, Blue Chew Gold, and get you some gold for the moments when you need to perform at your best. If you're not performing at your best. You dig what I'm saying? But okay, so I think we got Kevin in the uproar. Joe said that was hilarious. Nice job. Appreciate you, Joe. So check me out while I pivot, right? So let me go back. Kevin, I'm glad you showed up today because I had a show and I think that this is much better. So, Kevin, if it's ridiculous for us to blame the government agencies who have been trained in these particular agencies, and this is the jobs they get paid to do, right? Like, mind you, if I don't do the job I get paid to do properly, then I don't have a job anymore, right? But you train them to do this job, and we can make all the excuses in the world, but it's still the job. And I mean, there's a learning curve behind it, but we can't take and put all the blame on immigrants who just know that the history of this country was that it was a land of opportunity, and they crossing that border for an opportunity, right? Because you said all illegals. So the law-abiding illegals that come to this country, they need to go back to correct. Because all of them are not coming here and committing crimes, right? Kind of like, and I'm just gonna do it like this here. I hope I don't offend anyone, but all police officers aren't bad. All doctors aren't bad, right? Kevin said, can our border patrols shoot foreigners at the line like they do in other countries? No, that's why foreigners came here. They know the punishment is being sent home. Big deal. Start shooting and we will see less coming in. Okay, I mean, I go with that. First of all, it's kind of like these are human beings still, not animals. You feel me? They want the same opportunity that they want the same opportunity that immigrants from England and Europe had when they came here. You feel me? And nobody was shooting them and stopping them from coming either. Kevin said there's a right way to come to America for the land of opportunity. I am not down on them, just the ones sneaking in. Hey, listen, again, fam, I'm not here to fight with you. I'm not saying that you're wrong about your opinion. I agree that there's a way to come into this country. But what I'm saying is this right here. All of them. Some of the ones that cross the border and come into this country illegally, personally. Would you not agree that everybody needs to go back, right? Because I mean, I know some of them that were, some of them come here and come to this motherfucker, man, and work hard. Strawberry fields, orange groves, and all that, and they're here illegally. And up until this particular point in America, it was okay. You feel me? Like to pay someone under minimum wage for them to work here. You feel me? Under minimum wage for them to work here. It was okay. This has not always been the hot buddy. Some of them come here, and some of them are migrant workers or whatever. When they come here, they go to these particular accounts and they get these jobs that a lot of Americans don't want to do. Pick watermelon. Kevin said, my son was shot by an illegal, and they did send him home with a 10-year ban to return to America because he illegally came into the country. Doesn't taste very good, so I shoot them at the line if they're doing it illegally. Okay, listen, to each his own, fam. My heart goes out to you, man. I hate that happened to you. You feel me? And now we starting to get somewhere. You dig? You have every right to feel the way that you feel about that particular situation. You feel me? But I was asking you a question. We stopped everyone, right? All illegal immigrants, we stopped everyone, right? Because we can't weed out who is going to come here and do something crazy. That's your stance on that, correct? And if that is your stance, I kind of agree with you on that. Hey, listen, let them come here the right way. There's a right and a wrong way to do things. So I'm not knocking you on that. You feel me? Kevin said, if there's a right way to do something, why do we not punish the ones that are cheating the system? Did we? We still on the same subject, right, Kevin? And I'm going to give you the answer to that. But I want to take the time out to say this here, and I mean, I wanted to address all of the things that are coming up. Kevin said illegal immigrants. Yes. Okay. Well, listen. Diplomatically, right? We keep hearing this, right? That illegal immigrants are coming to this country, right? From places of destitution, right? Mexico, wherever they're coming from. Places that are not as great as this country that we live in called America. For an opportunity. Okay? But we also have to look at the history behind, you feel me? We don't know all the information. We just know what we're getting in front of us. We don't know the deals that are being cut or why someone would turn their head and let that many immigrants in this country. Now I'm gonna stand on the side of the agencies that protect this country. I'm gonna be devil's advocate right now. Would it be possible that sometimes it's necessary to let them in so that when things like this come up, we have someone to blame? Because now I'm firm on the idea that our government agencies are more than capable of doing their jobs without violence, because this is an example of without violence, right? We can't shoot them. Nor should you, nor even if you shot them and there was 1,000 of them rushing you, you don't have enough bullets to stop 1,000 people from rushing you and coming into this country. But what if the order was, not to shoot them. And when we talk laws, the congressmen and the senators that are in this country put in place a law that says don't shoot them and all of that there, right? Detain them and send them back across the border, right? I almost took a turn, but in the beginning of this country, there was not a problem with bringing people to this country illegally. And I tried not to do it, but I just want to give you another vantage point of it. In this country, throughout history, there was not a problem with bringing people in this country. Human trafficking, bringing people in this country illegally. And again, I wanted to let you know that there were people in England that got on boats and came to this country for an opportunity and a better life. And those are the people that are considered builders of this country. Then there were a certain group of people that were brought here that helped build this country that have not necessarily got the recognition that they're supposed to have in this country. And then we talking about illegal immigrants who remember what history says, because you get those history books all around the world, and the greatest country in the world, and the story that gets told about the greatest country in the world is that you can go to America and change your life, right? And everybody that showed up to this country were not the best of people. Even inside of this country right now, we have people that have viewpoints and ideologies that are not the best in the world. But when we deal with just that particular thing, illegal immigrants, we're not addressing the issues that we have in this country. You feel me? And even if we stop the illegal immigrants from coming in this country, you feel me? There are people that are suffering in this country over loved ones who lost their lives by people that are citizens in this country. You feel me? And again, like I said, my heart goes out to you, fam. I hate that happened to you. And I hate that somebody from another country came and did it. But then we got to consider this right here. Would it be fair to consider that when we get involved in these wars, not only do Americans lose their lives in these wars, and the families of those American soldiers that lose their lives have to suffer through that turmoil because someone in another country took the lives of their child. But we go to these other countries and we take lives as well. And I get it, man. Listen, illegal immigrant took the life of my son. I can't say how you feel right now. I don't know what that feels like, because I mean, shit, I don't have to experience that, and I hope that I never do. And I hate that you have to experience that, sir. But I want it to be absolutely crystal clear when I say this here. There are more things going on in this country that I will consider to be more pertinent than illegal immigrants that I consider to be allowed to come into this country. Because there has to be a way for you to stop those particular immigrants from entering this country. I see the videos where the wall ends at some point, and those people, all they have to do is go around that little piece of gate where that wall ends, and they are in this country. because a lot of them not going to the border. They're not going to the border and just crossing at the border. Then I will present to you the fact that America's intelligence agencies know this. And I don't believe that they can stop. But we got way more pertinent things to tend to. Do I agree with illegal immigrants coming into this country illegally? No. But if you come here and you do all the things that you're supposed to do in this particular country to become a citizen, and then you get picked up and deported to another country, because hasn't that happened? Haven't we had situations where United States citizens have been taken from this particular country and placed in other countries? Stay with me, Kevin. I mean, you stopped responding. You stopped saying anything to me. There were cases. Okay, Kevin said, if I could shoot an intruder on my property, why can't we not shoot an illegal coming onto our land? Makes no sense. Follow the rules so we can prosecute you when you break the law. Hey, listen. So at this particular point, Kevin, I can appreciate you. Now, I'm going to say something to you, and I don't want to be sarcastic. You feel me? It sounds like a game that's being played. You feel me? And either you are part of the game, controlling the game, or you part of the game, playing the game. You feel me? And that's a valid point. If you can shoot somebody in this country for coming on your property, why can't you shoot an illegal immigrant? Because they have a country that's backing them, regardless of what you say or not. Whether the country is extremely powerful or not. Whenever you had someone on American soil antagonize Chinese, Indian, or any other nationality from this particular country, Kevin said, so again, that's why I think Trump is best, because he has a legal scare to come in right now. No doubt. They scared to come. But if that's the only reason that you have, what happens after? What happens when Trump can't run anymore? If they scared right now, then I mean, basically, the honest God truth is, and I'm just telling you what the thought process is. They wait a couple of years, and then Trump is not president anymore, and then business as usual, right? Or is that not the case? I mean, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a wound. And then they rip the Band-Aid off. But the reason why you can't shoot them at the border is because Kevin said it's probably too late, as Bush, Obama, and Sleepy Joe opened the gates already. I think it was a bigger problem prior to that. I don't think it happened then. I think that, again, I think that what happened with that was that Bush wanted oil out of Afghanistan. Because where are the weapons of mass destruction? Right? Those particular pilots that flew into the World Trade buildings were trained on American soil. Right? I'm not too sure that they were legal in this country. I'm not sure they were citizens. So I'll give you that. You feel me? Obama, I don't really understand how that works, because this is the man. This is the man who was the president sitting when SEAL Team 6 caught up with Osama bin Laden. Right? Sleepy Joe navigated this country through the latter portion of a pandemic. Right? And the president that we and Donald Trump right now has immigrants scared to come in this country, from what you say. But his focus has went away from that to a war, and wanted to run for president for a third term and totally disregard the Constitution that under oath sworn to uphold. Joe, Kevin, and is that not necessarily accurate when you swearing just like the military to uphold, just like the military to defend the Constitution of the United States, right? At what point do we turn our heads away from that? Swore under oath. And if you put your hand on the Bible in the courtroom and swear under oath, that's considered perjury, correct? Which is a legal offense. You're breaking the law, right? So, at what point do we come to this country and we decide on who to hold accountable for breaking a law, right? Just like you asked, why can't we shoot them? Because they have a country that's backing them, and you can't just go around shooting people from other countries, because that means somebody's going to stand up and speak on their behalf, whether they got a powerful army or not. Somebody's going to speak up on their behalf, and there is a entity in this particular country. There's an entity in this world that's higher. There's a judicial system that's higher, the world court, that's higher than that presides over the countries in the world. And there's a such thing as international law. There's a law that governs this country and the things that you can do and you can't do, right? And that's why you can't just shoot them at the border, because I'm talking about shit. You can't just shoot. You just can't shoot people because I almost fucked up there, right? You can't just shoot people because you disagree with their ideology on how they're going to create a better life. Just like it's illegal to shoot people because of their opinions. It's illegal to cross from one state to another on some vigilante justice and kill people. And you're not law enforcement, or that's not your job. It's illegal to hang people from trees. It's illegal to molest children. It's illegal to human traffic people. See all the stuff that comes out as illegal. We focus on illegal immigrants, but there's a lot of illegal stuff going on right here at home that we have not addressed yet. It's a lot of illegal stuff going on around the world that needs to be addressed. We never got a chance to see those weapons of mass destruction, and we have not yet asked to see those weapons of mass destruction. So back on Bush, I agree with you on that, but I mean, shit, it's illegal to have inside information on stocks and all that too, correct? If you took money from agencies and your bank accounts and foundations look like they were doing illegal activity, then the bank shuts you down because it looked like fraudulent activity. That's illegal. That's called money laundering. If you put money fund on, Joe said it was a great show. I appreciate you, Joe. It's illegal to do a lot of the things that's happening in this country, like treason against the country. It's illegal. And treason is punishable by what? You said it, I didn't. But we watched over all that, right? It's illegal. We want to talk about legalities. And this is where I stop, because now I want to speak directly to Kevin. Hey, man, sir, I really appreciate you watching from New York. It was an absolute joy having dialogue with you. I hope I did not offend you. We definitely need to clean up the immigration situation, but we can't put all our focus on immigration because there's a lot of things in this country for Americans first that need to be addressed. You feel me? And I mean, with November coming up and the midterms, there's a lot of things and a lot of chaos and a lot of misdirection happening. You pay attention to the things that you should pay attention to. My heart goes out to you, sir, because I mean, as a parent, I would hate to have to navigate losing a child. You feel me? And at this particular point, a lot of people in this country are losing children right now. Maybe not to illegal immigrants, but to other acts of violence. You feel me? And I believe that America should be less violent and more of a united states of America, or a united country, regardless of race, creed, religion, background, or whatever. You feel me? Because once we come together and decide that we all can live on this planet together, once we are able to navigate our differences and agree to disagree, once we get rid of the hate, and once we get rid of the malice, once we can explain to each other why we hate each other so much, we can begin to heal in this country. And that's the main goal, being able to heal from the hurt without erasing American history, without erasing history, without changing holidays, and without adding holidays in this country. You feel me? A lot of the things that go on in this country that we disagree with is because someone told us that we should be at odds with each other and disagree with each other. But until next time, I just want to let you know, keep your head on the swivel. If I see you before you see me, I'll holler at you. If you see me before I see you, make sure you holler out, I see what you're doing. And until next time, remember, hit the site, get you some Blue Chew. Your wife will love it. You'll love it. And remember, as always, I see what you're doing. We'll get with you next time. Peace.
www.enter-effect.com for more info, beats, and designs. These beats available for $30 and exclusive starting